Well, the slowing property market has been hailed as an opportunity for buyers to get the upper hand, but market conditions are favouring one type of buyer in particular. Here with the latest data is CoreLogic Chief Property Economist Kelvin Davidson. Good morning to you. Welcome to Monday, Kelvin. Good weekend?
Not too bad.
Not too bad. Well, clearly you're a Blues supporter. All right, no doubt about it, the market has eased, hasn't it? What changes are we seeing in the profile of the active buyers at the moment?
Yeah, so what we're really seeing is multiple property owners are coming back in, and this is cash multiple property owners. So now I think probably the easiest way to think of it is investors. So that it's not just investors, it can be people who perhaps were looking to sell a house and haven't quite done that yet, but have purchased another one. So there is temporary things in there, but yeah, the easiest way to think of it is investors and some coming back in with cash.
So what's happening with those numbers and what's prompted it?
Well, so these numbers, we look at market share, so it's percentage of transactions. Now, there is a caveat here. One thing is that the number of deals across the market for everybody is down. It's just that the cash investors have fallen less, so that means their percentage market share increases. So it's a little bit of a sort of mathematical technicality in there, but yeah, so you've got to keep those caveats in mind. Overall activity is down, so the rise in market share for cash investors is within that overall quieter market.
Are you saying that's the best of a bad bunch?
That's probably a good way of putting it, yeah. And I think, so there are caveats here, and one other thing we're seeing is that, well, like I say, people might not have sold their previous property before they bought another one. There's that kind of thing going on. But in this environment, we know that cash is king, basically. Mortgages are less readily available. They cost more. So it stands to reason that people with a higher equity base or more cash, basically, will be enjoying conditions, possibly sniffing out some bargains. So, these things do stand to reason, but you've got to keep in mind this is within that quieter overall market.
You talk about those caveats and the variables, maybe someone that has bought a house, not sold their others. Are there any other setups that can affect that, like people who are, as you say, investing and shuffling their money around?
Yeah, so these are measuring basically people who own at least two properties, so multiple, that's the operative word. And of course, what people with bigger portfolios could be doing is theoretically freeing up cash by shuffling debt on other properties. So it could actually be that they've increased their debt, just that they've increased them on other properties within a portfolio, and so purchased the most recent one with cash. That could certainly be going on, so that's not really cash. But there is, as I say, in this general environment where credit's restrained, it would stand to reason that people with equity should be enjoying conditions. And this is being called a buyer's market, but of course, and it is, so we've got to face up to that. But of course, to be a buyer, you have to have secured finance first. So it's not free for all. There's hurdles there. But once you're in the market, then, yeah, those buyers will be enjoying conditions.
So I guess nothing really changes for the first home buyers. How are they sitting at the moment?
First home buyers are down in terms of those numbers of deals and also market share. So it's pretty weak conditions for first home buyers. Haven't deserted the market altogether by any means. There's still first home buyers out there, but it is tougher within that restricted credit environment. I think we've also got to acknowledge that first home buyers will have actively pulled back. Some will be sitting back thinking, well, if I wait, I might get a cheaper property much later. The risk is that interest rates have gone up further in the meantime. So it could be that actually the sums don't quite work out in your favour. Everybody needs to run that themselves. But your first home buyers down, about sort of a currently 22, 23% market share. Go back 6 months, that was more like 26 or 27. So it is tough out there for first home buyers, but tough for everybody pretty much unless you have a bit more equity.
Just going to say that tough all round generally, isn't it? Not a great time in the market, but things change. All right, CoreLogic Chief Property Economist Kelvin Davidson, nice to chat this morning.